Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to Season 2 of The Sound of a Quiet Voice, and this is AeVey Speaks. This season will be called Ripples That Return. They say every ripple has the power to return as a wave, bringing with it stories, reflections, and truths that touch hearts. And today we begin the season with one such ripple. Season 2, Episode 11, Footprints That Shape Tomorrows. The morning reflection. It starts like so many mornings do, with a shrill ring. My phone vibrates, the piercing tone reverberating through my head. I groan, groping for my phone in a groggy, semi-conscious state. Squinting at the display, I gather every ounce of energy to jump out of bed. A splash of cold water, a slap on my cheeks. I force myself into the now. All this to get a little human ready for a school I was never going to attend. Monday mornings. Always an ordeal. Always a battle. I walk to the bedside and gaze at the sweet little human before me. Peaceful innocence painted across his face. And yet, I know in just a few seconds, this calm expression will twist into a groggy frown. I whisper softly, "Darling, wakey, good morning." No response. A gentle prod, still nothing. Finally, as the minutes tick by, my voice takes on a pitch I dislike. He stirs, groans, and frowns deeply. "Ma, please, 2 more minutes." "No, baby, we're late. Please get up." He storms into the bathroom, eyes shut, upset that I woke him. Meanwhile, my second, sprawled across the bed, stirs but doesn't awake. "You still have a year for your turn. Sleep until then," I think, and sigh with relief. Now begins the marathon. Breakfast, lunchboxes, uniforms, shoes, and of course, a cautious ear for the call from the school bus attendant. It's chaos, yet a rhythm I've learned to dance to. At the door, I pause to hug him tight. "Have a good day, my darling. See you in the evening." He looks up at me, eyes wide, words unsaid. As though reading his mind, I whisper, 4 more days and it'll be the weekend." He nods half-heartedly, waves goodbye, and the elevator doors close. I turn around, heart heavy, sinking into a chair. What am I doing here? For a fleeting moment, I recall my own childhood, the joy of an unexpected school holiday, the thrill beyond measure. And today, decades later, despite so much progress in education, children still drag themselves reluctantly to school. Schools have reformed, systems have been upgraded, child-centric approaches embraced, and yet, how many children truly love going to school? Our little one once said, "Ma, I love this school," and he meant it. But as months passed, the crumbling began. That's when we realized it wasn't the school, nor the teachers, nor the children. It was the system. A system in dire need of change. Change that draws a child's natural curiosity, like the way a gadget or a YouTube short effortlessly does. Change that doesn't instill fear but nurtures joy. Yes, efforts are underway. Awareness has grown among parents and educators. Change makers are stepping forward, but such reform will take generations because it demands not just new practices but unlearning deeply ingrained old ones. And unlearning, I believe, is far harder than learning. Yet, I hold hope because in today's world, I see ripples, small, steady ripples, returning as waves of change. And today's story is one such ripple. Footprints of Inspiration. This is a true story, a tribute to a change maker penned by one of his students and my fellow creative partner this season, Mr. Guru Prasad Chandrasekharan, also known as Ilaya Magan. Roots and Wings. In the year 2019, I arrived in Coimbatore, not as a seeker of greatness, but as someone quietly walking through the echoes of life. A hotelier since 2007, my career had taken me across elegant corridors and banquet halls, but life redirected me. My mother, a school headmistress, was nearing retirement. I chose to be by her side to honor her final chapter with presence and love. Her wish was simple: be with me till the end. I did. She left. And in the silent aftermath, I felt that only one place could give me the comfort I had lost. A school. The very world my mother had devoted her life to. Fate placed me in an international school in Coimbatore, reputed, visionary and brimming with excellence. As a campus manager, I wasn't limited to an office chair. I wore headphones, sprinted across departments and touched every corner, from maintenance and civil works to facility operations. This school wasn't just my workplace, it was my home. I'd wake at dawn, brush, pull on a jersey and reach school by 6. I skipped breaks, returned only for meals and often slept with tomorrow's plans in my head. It was rhythm, it was healing, it was life. One day at reception, destiny placed something in my hands. A vibrant, orange-colored book titled A New Era of Education. I opened it casually. Minutes later, I was completely still. It was world-class. The design, the content, the vision. It reminded me of the Oberoi Hotel's brochures. But this wasn't hospitality. This was education. Yet the standards were same, or perhaps even higher. Each word, each image, each description pointed to a woman with a rare mind. Visionary, aesthetic, unstoppable. At first, I believed it was just branding, a crafted illusion. But curiosity pushed me further. I opened the website on a large desktop screen and saw it. The same images, the same vibe, and the same soul. It wasn't marketing, it was real. I asked around, colleagues, parents, alumni. They confirmed everything. I had never met her, not even seen her. Yet, she had already become my mentor. When I told my father this, he said something I'll never forget. You don't have to meet a mentor. You just have to follow their footprints, like people follow Vivekananda, Krishna, or Arjuna. That advice stayed with me. A week later, I was on a casual errand to fix my dad's spectacles at Titan RS-puram. On our way, we started seeing signboards one after another, from Tidal Park to RS-puram, all for a kindergarten school, all in the same pistachio green color. One board might be coincidence, but this was branding mastery, elegance with strategy. Days later, I was on another trip to Palakkad. In a remote village near a sacred temple, there it was again, another board for her school. A shopkeeper, noticing my curiosity, proudly said, "My granddaughter studies there." That's when I knew. She wasn't just expanding schools. She was building an ecosystem. I started digging, not about the school, but about her. Every person, staff, parents, even strangers spoke only good. Stories overflowed. One parent said their child now writes letters home from boarding. Another spoke about a dedicated phone in the hostel that connects only to guardians. Another described world-class extracurricular opportunities. But one story stunned me. I heard about a woman who had worked at her school from day one. Her name was identical to the founders. Out of deep respect and devotion, she changed her own name so that no one would casually call her boss's name. This is not just respect, this is love. One day, I had to visit a site. Coincidentally, it was near one of her campuses. That was the only reason I chose that spot, to feel her institution's presence. At 10 a.m., the campus was quiet. Two massive schools stood within a single compound, yet pin-drop silence. She wasn't there. There was no strictness, just love. And I realized love creates silence far better than fear ever could. As a hotelier, I understand the nuances of quality, especially in food. One parent shared that the boarding school provides milk from their own cows, vegetables from their own farm, and food thoughtfully curated for growing children. This is not just care, this is excellence. And I know how difficult it is to maintain such a system. But she has done it with elegance. She watches every movie before it is shown to students. She personally curates content. After the Behind Woods interview, her voice reached homes. She became South India's icon and later a powerful speaker at NIT. Across Meta, LinkedIn, and social media, her institution's posts stand tall, consistent, polished, meaningful. Even my own marketing ideas, shaped by years in hospitality, now carry a rhythm inspired by her. Her silent mentorship made me realize one thing. I wasn't where I was meant to be, so I quit. I returned to hospitality, a place that needs my passion, creativity, and skills. Today, I work in a century-old legacy institution with pride. I tried applying to her institution, but it didn't happen. And yet, I'm grateful because standing outside and watching her work is a lesson in itself. She gave me a new lens, a renewed purpose, a different strength. Every workplace I've joined has had her articles, her photos, her story. She is my superstar, my inspiration. One day, when I meet her, I'll say everything with pure gratitude and deep respect. Thank you, ma'am. Here's to the great leader. So, my dear listeners, wasn't that a wonderful tribute? Not just to an educational reformer, but to the spirit of mentorship itself. What moved me the most was not just the admiration in the author's words, but his choice to protect her identity. In a world where a single mention could have gained him recognition, he chose instead to honor her privacy. And that to me was more inspiring than the story itself. In line with the author's style, I've chosen to preserve her identity too, because the sound of a quiet voice was never about the noise, never about chasing attention, never about promotions. It has always stood for sharing stories that are raw, authentic, and deep. Stories that stir something within. Here's to the kind hearts striving for the betterment of our children's futures. Here's to the voices that advocate for them, gently but firmly. Here's to the dream of a time when every child wakes up eager to go to school, not out of compulsion but out of joy, because every ripple of love, every act of dedication returns, shaping tomorrows we may not yet see. With all my love, this is AeVey Speaks, signing off.